Hi everyone, I'm happy to see you here today again in our video lesson, which was specifically created for the distant learners of economics field. In front of you, Kahor Vanigina, an English teacher of Kashi State Technical University. So today we will talk about the Unit 17, Protectionism and Free Trade. Let's go. Let's take a quick look at the learning objectives of today's lesson and understand what we're going to learn. So we're going to define key concepts, understand the fundamental principles of protectionism and free trade policies. We will analyze advantages and disadvantages of both trade policy approaches, and we will recognize and explain different types of trade restrictions government use. And finally, we will use modal verbs effectively when discussing economic policies and trade decisions. And before starting, think about these following questions and prepare your answers. So, first, should countries protect their local industries? Second one, is free trade always beneficial? And the last one, why do governments impose tariffs? And now I'm going to discuss a very important topic in international economics. This is free trade and protectionism. These two policies strongly influence how countries buy and sell goods around the world. We will look at real-life examples so the concepts become easier to understand. First, let's talk about free trade. Free trade is a system where countries allow goods and services to move across borders with very few restrictions. Governments reduce tariffs, quotas, and other barriers so businesses can trade more easily. The main idea behind free trade is called comparative advantage. This means countries should specialize in producing goods they can make more efficiently and trade for other products. For example, China is known for manufacturing electronics and clothing at lower costs, while Saudi Arabia specializes in oil production. Through free trade, both countries benefit by exchanging products they produce efficiently. Another real-life example is the European Union. Many European countries trade freely with each other without heavy tariffs. Because of this, consumers can buy products from different countries at lower prices. A car made in Germany can easily be sold in France or Italy. Free trade provides many advantages. Consumers enjoy lower prices and a wider variety of products. Companies become more competitive and innovative because they compete in international markets. Countries also build stronger international relationships through trade cooperation. However, free trade also has disadvantages. Sometimes local factories cannot compete with cheaper foreign goods. As a result, workers may lose jobs in some industries. For instance, some textile factories in developing countries struggle when cheaper imported clothing entered their markets. Now let's move to protectionism. Protectionism is the opposite approach. Governments use trade barriers to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. One common protectionist measure is a tariff, which is a tax on imported goods. For example, if a country places high tariffs on imported cars, foreign cars become more expensive and people may prefer locally produced vehicles instead. A real-life example happened between United States and China during the trade war. The United States imposed tariffs on many Chinese products such as steel and electronics. China responded with tariffs on American goods like soybeans and machinery. The goal was to protect domestic industries and reduce dependence on foreign products. Another protectionist tool is quotas. Quotas limit how many goods can be imported. For example, a government may allow only a certain number of foreign cars into the country each year to support local automobile companies. Governments also provide subsidies to domestic producers. For instance, farmers in many countries receive financial support from governments so they can compete with imported agriculture products. Without subsidies, some local farms might not survive international competition. Protectionism has several benefits. It protects local jobs, supports new industries, and helps countries maintain national security in strategic sectors like food production, energy, or technology. During global crises, countries often realize the importance of producing essential goods locally. However, protectionism also has disadvantages. Imported goods become more expensive, consumers have fewer choices, and companies may become less innovative because competition is reduced. Sometimes trade conflicts between countries can also damage the global economy. So, which policy is better? The answer is not simple. Most countries today use a combination of both free trade and protectionism. They support free trade in some industries while protecting important domestic sectors in others. In conclusion, free trade encourages global cooperation, lower prices, and economic efficiency, while protectionism focuses on protecting domestic industries and jobs. Understanding both policies helps us better understand how the global economy works and why governments make different trade decisions. And now let's test our understanding of protectionism and free trade concepts. I'm going to ask you several questions and you should prepare your answers. First question: what is free trade? You should define the policy of minimal restrictions on international commerce. Second one: what is protectionism? Explain how governments shield domestic industries from foreign competition. And third question: name 3 trade barriers. You should identify tariffs, quotas, and subsidies as common protectionist measures. And fourth: what are benefits of free trade? You should list advantages such as lower prices, variety, and efficiency. And the last question, you should discuss how protectionism can increase prices and reduce competition. And now you will do some true and false exercise. You will read the statements and mark them as true or false. You'll be given 30 seconds, but remember, you may take extra time by putting and pressing pause. And after 30 seconds, we will come back and check out our answers. Well done, everyone. Now we will check the answers. So, first, tariffs are taxes on exports. That's false. Tariffs are usually taxes placed on imports, not exports. Governments use tariffs to make foreign goods more expensive and protect local industries. Next, second sentence. Quotas limit the number of imports. That's true. Quotas are restrictions that control how many goods can enter a country during a certain period. The third statement, free trade reduces competition. That's false. Free trade actually increases competition because companies from different countries compete in the same market. Fourth statement, protectionism supports domestic industries. That's true. Protectionism helps local businesses and workers by reducing foreign competition through tariffs, quotas, and subsidies. Fifth one, subsidies are financial support for producers. That's true. Governments provide subsidies to help domestic producers compete with imported products. Sixth one, free trade can lower prices. And that's true. When countries trade freely, consumers often get cheaper products because of increased competition and lower trade costs. And seventh one, protectionism always improves economic efficiency. That's false. Protectionism can protect industries, but it may also reduce competition and create inefficiency in the economy. And the last sentence, trade barriers influence international trade flows. That's true. Tariffs, quotas, and other barriers directly affect how goods move between countries and how much trade takes place. And now let's watch an interesting video which widely describes the usage of models of necessity. Have a good watching.
Ellie. Modals of necessity and obligation. What is a modal? A modal is a word that comes before the main verb. A modal gives a verb extra meaning, such as advice, ability, or possibility. Modals of necessity and obligation are used to state rules or give strong recommendations in the present or future. Modals of necessity and obligation include must, have to, and have got to. Must is a common modal. It is more formal than have to and have got to. For example, you must show your passport to a customs officer before entering the country. The modal expression have to is even more common than must. It is also a bit less formal. For example, he has to ask his parents when he wants to borrow their car. The modal expression have got to is common in speaking, but not in writing. It is very casual. For example, I have got to apologize to my friend for forgetting her birthday. Modals are always followed by a base verb. A base verb is a verb with no ending added to it. A base verb has no s, ed, or ing ending. In positive sentences, we can use must, have to, or have got to, plus a base verb. Children must be tall enough to ride the roller coaster. We have to wear a uniform to school. While true modals such as must never change forms, modal expressions do change to agree with the subject. Have to becomes has to when the subject is he, she, it, a singular countable noun, or an uncountable noun. My friend has to wear a uniform to school. I have got to tell you a secret. Have got to becomes has got to when the subject is he, she, it, a singular countable noun, or an uncountable noun. She has got to tell you a secret. Did you know that got to sounds like gotta in casual spoken English. Also, you can contract have to apostrophe VE and has to apostrophe S in this modal expression. I've got to tell you a secret. She's got to tell you a secret. But be careful. You can never contract the modal expression have to or has to. In negative sentences, we can use must not or do not have to plus a base verb. Have got to is not used in negative sentences in North American English. You must not use your phone in class. We use must not or mustn't to express a very strong obligation not to do something. We can also use cannot or can't to mean that something is forbidden. You mustn't use your phone in class. You cannot use your phone in class. You can't use your phone in class. I do not have to get up early on weekends. The modal expression do not have to, on the other hand, has a much weaker meaning. It implies that you can choose not to do something, but you can do it if you want to. The auxiliary do not or the contraction don't changes to does not or the contraction doesn't when the subject is he, she, it, a singular countable noun, or an uncountable noun. I don't have to get up early on weekends. My brother doesn't have to get up early on weekends. For questions, the modal must is not common. Questions with must sound too formal for most situations in North American English. The modal expression have to is the most common way to ask a question about necessity and obligation, and it has a strong meaning. We almost never use have got to in questions. Must I pay for the trip right now? Do you have to work next weekend? Like with negative sentences, questions with the modal expression have to take the auxiliary do or does depending on the subject. Does she have to work next weekend? Look at the sentence and the modal and verb in parentheses. Make a positive sentence, negative sentence, or question for each one. Don't use contractions. For example, he must not drive if he's tired. Now you try. We do not have to cook tonight because I ordered pizza. My sister has to be at the airport by 8 a.m. You must not run on the pool deck. You have got to try this pasta. It's delicious. Do we have to complete these steps in order? Thanks for watching.
Guys, for your homework, you need to prepare a short debate about the topic free trade should replace protectionism. You should write 2 arguments for free trade. Write 2 arguments for protectionism. Use at least 6 modal verbs like can, should, must, may, might, could, and include 6 economic terms such as tariffs, quotas, subsidies, imports, exports, and competition. Your total writing should be around 250 or 300 words. Please make your ideas clear, simple, and organized because this is a debate task. Also, try to give examples to support your arguments. And that's all for today, everyone. I hope you will enjoy preparing your debate and share creative ideas. Do your best, be confident, and don't forget to use the required modal verbs and economic terms correctly. Have a wonderful day and good luck with your homework. See you in the next lesson.